just stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Hey, sports fans. Lawrence Owen here with another little bit of a update on the 2020 free agency frenzy. I'm going to go over a few of the signings, team by team, throughout the NFL. Just kind of an update of what teams have done, what players have done, whether or not I think they got a good contract, whether or not I think this was an upgrade for the team, things of that nature. I want to welcome everyone here with Sportscaster, Summers, Josh, USN, Panther Princess. Thanks for joining the stream. Josh and myself, as you see, we have USN after our names. Go check out USN up in the search bar. Just type in USN. You'll see dozens of people, part of the Unwrapped Sports Network, which is what USN stands for. They cover all sorts of sports. Football, the big three, obviously, plus MMA, wrestling, racing, you name it, they cover it. Just check out their profile. And if they cover something you enjoy, give them a follow. And then when you see them, let them know I sent you. If you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget, if you enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I go live. And at the bottom of my description of this specific video, there's a link to a one-time donation. All donations are much appreciated and will be used to continue bringing you content as often as possible. Any donations of $5 or more, you can ask a question, man. I will be more than happy to definitely answer any questions. Any donation of $25 or more, you could suggest a topic. Let the tank begin, huh? So, Summers, you don't think that a lot of people are coming up thinking that there might be a trade between the Patriots and the Colts for Jacoby Brissett? Do you think that might end up happening? At least that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that a lot from Patriots fans. I'm hearing that, Colts fans want to see that happen as well. Do you think the Patriots are interested in acquiring Jacoby back? That's an interesting question. Oh, I understand that. You know how many other teams in the NFL want that man? I don't see how, but here's the thing. I am very opinionated when it comes to tanking. I don't believe in it. I think that every team should fight hard. I don't see players or coaches ever intentionally tanking. Ever. Just for the simple fact they're playing for their jobs. You go out there and have a poor season, you might not have a job next year. It's all about this, right? So I don't see it happening. But you could do what the Miami Dolphins did and just trade away all your players that are good. Get a whole bunch of draft picks. And then instantaneously go from one of the worst teams in the NFL to at least mid-grade until those players start to get better with experience. Now that I can see happening. But actual players and coaches intentionally tanking, I don't know. I don't know if Cincy actually did, but oh my. DPN, hey, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate you being here. Hey, DPN, I got a question. Do you think it is in the Patriots' wheelhouse that they may end up trading for Jacoby Brissett back from the Indianapolis Colts? Summer says he just wants Lawrence, but I mean, I get that. Everybody gets that. Yeah, I don't know. Bill BB, he's really big on trading away his players anyhow. Ah. Yeah, I've heard that too. A lot of Patriots fans. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I like I said, I'm never a fan of tanking, just for the simple fact that that creates something in players and coaches' heads, and if you start losing on purpose, you end up being like the Cleveland Browns, and even if you got a really good team around you, you still find ways to lose, right? Yeah, I believe the same way. I don't think anyone, like I was saying, Summers. I mean, they're fighting for their jobs, right? I mean, it's all about making the money. Now, I'm sure a lot of players they don't care about the money because they made so much already. But at the same time, your third string, your second string, some of your fringe first string players, they're out there. Guys that are at the end of their contracts looking for extensions, they're out there trying to show out to try to make money on their next contract or even keep their job. So, on a player and coach basis, I don't see tanking as a viable option under normal circumstances. Well, Queen of Kings, thanks for joining the stream. As for Anna Nick fan, thank you also. As for the Rivers signing, I'm actually okay with it as long as the Colts can find a way to pick up some kind of young quarterback, possibly in the draft, that can learn under Rivers to maybe take over that mantle for the future years. Now, I used to say Jordan Love possibly, but I don't see Jordan Love making out of the first round. And frankly, if Bill Belichick doesn't do something about the quarterback situation before the draft, if he's on the board, I fully expect him to grab Jordan Love with their pick in the first round. And that would leave the Colts no possible way of getting him at 34. That's just my opinion on it. I mean, I like Rivers, though. Yeah, that's my thought process as well. I do like Rivers, but, I mean, there's a lot of talk about Eason, about Fromm, a couple other of these possible day two quarterbacks that go to the Colts, but I'm not 100% sure about it. It's just something that it's good to have a very experienced quarterback sitting with you, but hey, thanks for giving me a follow, Queen of Kings. I appreciate that. But my issue is he's only going to be here 1 year. And I understand the biggest reason I like Rivers is Rivers is going to have an offensive line in front of him. Rivers is going to have an offense, something he hasn't had over with the Chargers in some time. So that's good. Another plus with Rivers is that, he's got connections with Frank Reich, and the offensive coordinator for the Colts. So that's a bonus. The minus is last year the Colts wide receiving core, just the receiving core in general, because Eric Ebron he went out the end of the season, with 6 games left in the season to have surgery done on his ankles. So many injuries. The top three guys. Yes. But Rivers has a nice way of compensating for his loss of arm strength. He delivers a very catchable football, and he leads receivers very, very well. He has good anticipation on how a defense reacts and all that stuff. A lot of those interceptions, people want to, point to the fact that Rivers had a bunch of interceptions. And when I went through his tape, I did see some of them, but a lot of them, he was pushing in the fourth quarter because they were behind. And he was trying to put the team on his back. He's not going to have to do that with Indy. Indy's got a good defense. I mean, they kept Kansas City to 13 points last season. They're the only team to keep Kansas City under 2 scores. So he's not going to have to go out there and score 30 points every game to win games. He just has to play smart football, hand the football off, run the ball a lot, and then just throw enough to make first downs, right? Just keep the chains moving. I think Rivers has that ability, but like I said, I think his biggest asset is what's up here and what he can transfer to a young quarterback in that transition for years to come. That's what I think about the Rivers signing. So let's move on through some more of these free agency. We're gonna start this alphabetically. Just kind of look over some of these guys, see what I think. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go over DeAndre Hopkins. I already have a stream about DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not even going to talk about that. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life, but, everybody else agrees with me. Oh, did they? Well, I think it's updated through today. Through like a half an hour ago is my listing. So, unless that signing just happened like 2 minutes ago. Let me look at the... Yeah, Adrian. Yeah. I don't have contract details on it yet, but I've got him on here. Yep. All right, so let's go over some of these contracts. Now, some of these might be, I might have already went over, because I haven't went over all when I did my one stream. It was just some of the big, huge splash plays from day one. So, I'm just going over, like Jordan Phillips, when he signed that 3-year contract. That's an outstanding. Arizona really went big this year. I think they did a really good job picking up some. They're one of the, in my opinion, one of the top 5 winners of this free agency so far. Besides Kennard and Jordan Phillips, obviously DeAndre Hopkins, having Larry Fitzgerald beside DeAndre Hopkins, Kenyon Drake getting the tag. I don't understand that. I don't understand tagging Drake. I think they could have gave him a contract. He's decent, but come on. And then Campbell, the linebacker. They helped their wide receiving and their linebacking core a lot. I like what the Arizona Cardinals have done so far. So for that, I think, like I said, I think Arizona really did a decent job. The Atlanta Falcons, I love the Dante Fowler signing. I like how they let go of one edge rusher, picked up Fowler. I think Fowler is going to do outstanding. I don't necessarily... I understand they let Freeman go, but I don't like the Todd Gurley signing. It's a 1 year, $6 million, so that's good. And then you get he's getting paid $7.5 million from the Rams. And then, you got an offset. So he's actually getting paid $11 million to play next year. If they play next year. But the 1 year, we're going to have to see something from Gurley. Because what Gurley doesn't have that offensive line now, right? That he had with the Rams. Right? Hooper. Yeah. I would have went after Melvin Gordon over Todd Gurley in a heartbeat. Kobe Beef 200, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate you being here. I agree with you 100%. I think that they should have went after Melvin Gordon. I think that Matt Ryan needs a running back who is good, not just running the football, but catching it out of the backfield and doing something with it. And I think Melvin Gordon is someone who could do that. But I don't see Gurley as much doing that. Gurley's more of a kind of Adrian Peterson-like. Where he'll just take the ball and uses a lot of power to run. And with his knees the way they are, I'm not sure that he's going to do a good job. I'm not sure he's going to last a long time. Hey, I appreciate the follow, Kobe Beef. Thank you. I get that. I get that he wants a payday. But what if his knees doesn't allow it? You know? He'll probably start the season off really good. Expect him to do really, really well. He'll probably have 5 yards of carry if the Atlanta Falcons can open up holes for him to run. I mean, yeah, he is a kind of a power running back, but at the same time, I mean, he's not Derrick Henry. You know? He doesn't have the longevity that Derrick Henry just seems to get stronger as the year goes on. And Gurley's not that kind of running back. I like the Hayden Hurst signing. Well, the trade. When he traded with the Ravens. It was for a 2nd and 5th round selection. I don't like the 2nd round. I think they could have probably got it for a 3rd and a 5th. But they really, they needed somebody. I can't believe they got rid of Hooper either. I think they should have just re-signed him. And that way they didn't have to worry about going out and getting another tight end. Tyler Davidson. Yes. Oh my. They needed that. I think Davidson is going to end up being their big run stuffing kind of guy at Atlanta. I think he'll do well as well there. I'm going to move on to the Baltimore Ravens because, quite frankly, I think they got a steal as well. Signing Michael Brockers to a 3-year, $30 million, 21 fully guaranteed. That's going to be impressive considering they got Calais Campbell on a steal from the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they're putting these two guys together. That's wow. And then, of course, they franchise tagged Matt Judon. So that they're going to have a heck of a defensive line that they always have. The Baltimore Ravens always focus more on their defense than they do anything else. So this is actually really expected for the Ravens. I've always expect every year I'm like, well, they're just going to continue to keep their defense top notch because that's just what they do. For as long as I can remember, they've had a really good defense and they've always kept it going. Calais Campbell might be old, but my goodness, the man just got better with age as he got older and older and older. Hey, Arku, thanks for joining. I actually talked about Rivers earlier, and as for the Cowboys, I haven't gotten to them yet. So just give me a few moments. I'll be getting to the Dallas Cowboys here pretty soon. As soon as I'm going through this via alphabetical order. And then they signed Matt Skura, the center. Got an original round tender on him. But we're going to move on to Buffalo. Mario Addison, 3 years, a little over $30 million. Half of that guaranteed. I don't know if they needed it. Buffalo is already impressive. I like the Vernon Butler. I enjoyed the 2 years, not $18 million with half of that guaranteed. Vernon Butler is a smart move. Stephon Diggs. I don't like Stephon Diggs. I did not for Buffalo. I think Minnesota came out on a steal on this one. I like Stephon Diggs as a receiver. Is he worth a 1st, a 5th, a 6th, and another 4th? Don't know about all that. That's a lot of compensation for a wide receiver. Oh, yeah. Oh, I said before the end of this season that next year I think Buffalo will probably be a contender, like a Super Bowl contender, if they can just get a little help for Josh. I think Josh needs a little more help. And that's what they did. I get it. I get why they went out and got Stephon Diggs. But my goodness, why? No, I've not played any kind of fantasy sports ever. I do so much studying on regular football, on players and stuff. I've never had the time to spend going over fantasy numbers. So I've never actually done that. Yeah, my wife thinks I should do it, but eh. Quentin Jefferson expected to sign a 2-year deal. Also, let's see. Josh Norman got a 1-year, $6 million. That's a prove it deal. That's a prove it to see if he still has it. That's actually good for both people, the team and Josh, because obviously he's kind of went down over the last couple years. I think that this is a chance for him to show that he's still got it. And with Buffalo's defense already being as good as it is, whether or not, if Josh Norman does not play up to the way he used to, it's not really going to hurt Buffalo as bad. But if he can get back to where he was, that just make Buffalo that much more dangerous. So I like that. Quentin Spain, the guard, re-signed. $15 million, 3 years. That's smart as well. I think he did a really good job last season. Oh, he's in Buffalo. He's in Buffalo for a 1-year deal, prove it deal with Buffalo. Moving on to the Carolina Panthers. They had a lot of movement, didn't they? They exclusive right a 1-year extension with Kyle Allen. They re-signed Trey Boston. They signed Teddy Bridgewater. 3 years, $63 million. Half of that guaranteed. That's a good signing for the Panthers. I think that's an excellent signing for the Panthers. They didn't break the bank on the guy. He played well during while Breeze was down with that thumb injury. So I think that's a good signing. They could give him a shot, see how he works. And if he doesn't, then you still got Kyle Allen there. So there you go. Farrell Cooper is getting a 1-year contract. Seth DeValve has a deal in the works right now as well. John Miller, the guard, has got a 1-year, $4 million. That's more of a Russell Okung acquired from the Chargers in exchange for Trey Turner. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade. Seth Roberts. The terms for that deal for the wide receiver hasn't been disclosed. And Stephen Weatherly, it's a 2-year, $12.5 million. I'm sorry, I don't know much about Weatherly at all, so I can't really give you that much. Yeah, I think Cam Newton will probably be traded as well. I don't think he'll be around much longer. There's a few teams out there. Would that be funny if Cam Newton was in a Patriot uniform? That'd be interesting. Moving on to Chicago, Deion Bush, the safety, got a 1-year, $1.4 million contract. Nick Foles, in exchange for a 4th-round pick. And his contract is being restructured. Now, it hasn't been expressed whether it's going to be restructured, whether it's going to be going up or down for him or not, but a 4th-round pick. Holy crap. That's a lot of money that Jacksonville just gave away. My goodness. No. No, I wouldn't want. I didn't think you'd want Cam. I just said I think it'd be funny if he got there. After his shoulder issues, he just ain't the same. He just hasn't been the same. He's not that exciting, explosive player that he was back when. Did he win that MVP that year? I think he won MVP that year, wasn't he? What, 3 years ago or something like that? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. They also got Jimmy Graham, 2 years, $16 million. They got Robert Quinn, 5 years, $70 million. That's a huge contract. Danny Trevathan, 3-year extension, $21 mil. The Bears are doing something. I think they're trying. Their defense already stupid powerful, right? And Nick Foles. Here's my deal. Okay? I think the quarterback that Mitchell Trubisky, I think that Mitch can succeed in the NFL if he had the right offensive coordinator. If he had the right person making calls. I don't think that what Chicago had going with him was very good at all. I think that Mitchell Trubisky is one of those play by the seat of your pants kind of guys where he shouldn't have to think too much before the snap. Just let him go out there and play backyard football, and he succeeds well. If you make him have to play a lot of option plays and things of that nature, it's not good on him. Let him go out there and just play backyard football. I think he can succeed. I don't know who their offensive coordinator is. I don't know. It's possible. Ooh, Josh McDaniels with Mitchell Trubisky? I don't know. Possibly. McDaniels isn't. I don't know, because here's the thing. Josh, he's had a quarterback who's been able to read defenses for years and years and years. I don't know if Mitch has that in his head to be able to do that. I know the defensive coordinator is Chuck Pagano. All right, moving on. Cincinnati Bengals. We got Mackenzie Alexander for a 1-year, $4 million. Actually, I think McKenzie's still got some good play in him. AJ Green got franchise tagged. I have no idea why. I think AJ Green is on the downslope right now. I think he's going to be on the downslope. I think he's at that point in his career where he's not going to be able to live up to his past. I'm surprised Cincinnati franchised him. That's a lot of money. I get that they want to keep him, but I don't like it. I love, holy crap, DJ Reader. A 4-year, $53 million contract for a run-stuffing tackle. And that man can stuff a run, I'm telling you. Hey, thanks for joining, though, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, the best move that Cincinnati's done so far is signing DJ Reader. I love the contract. Yes, he's getting paid like pass rush numbers, but good defensive tackles, inside guys that can not only take on a double team, but still make plays with a double team on them, are a primary target for NFL teams this year, especially if you're running a 4-3. Reader could be a nose tackle in a 3-4. He's that good. And I know this because I had to, my team had to play against him twice a season. So, Trey Waynes agreed to a 3-year, $42 million contract. I think that's a bit high. Oh my goodness. What is that? That's $14 million a year for a corner. Yes, I agree. He needs the number one thing any team needs. If you get a franchise, I mean, come on. The Colts proved this. Carolina proved this. If you have a good quarterback, a franchise quarterback, you have to protect them with an offensive line. It's so important. That's more important than anything else. You have to protect them with an offensive line. If the Bengals grab Joe Burrow, their next 3 picks should be offensive linemen or good, solid blocking tight ends. That's what I would do. I'd be like, we're going to set you up with guys that you're going to have a connection with for your entire career here for 10 plus years. That's what I would do. Then that's when I would start working on getting like explosive players to put around him. That's what the Colts did with Peyton Manning, right? They happened to have Marvin Harrison before that. They go out, they grab Peyton Manning. What'd they do? They end up getting Edgerrin James. They ended up getting Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark. They ended up getting these guys afterwards, after they had that offensive line built too. Because they went, Saturday and all them. They had a decent offensive line for him. After they got him, then the years after, that's when they started grabbing pieces for Peyton Manning. And that's how people should do. Oh, yeah, definitely. Dak definitely has help with that offensive line. It's a question on whether or not they're going to be able to keep that offensive line together, though. Cleveland Browns. Wow, look at this, man. Look at the amount of people on the Browns. Holy crap. All right, so they got Billings. 1 year, $3.5 million. That's a... I think Billings probably could have got a better deal out of that. I think he could have earned more than $3.5 million, but I mean, that's a good signing for the Browns, money-wise. Conklin was a fat check. Holy crap. That's another $14 million a year for 3 years. He's decent. I wouldn't put Conklin as a top 5 tackle, but he's top 10. He just needs to... I don't know, man. It's Cleveland. And yes, they needed the protection. That's a smart move by the Browns, but wow. They went out and got Austin Hooper. 4 year, $44 million. Which that's $11 million for a tight end. My goodness. That makes him the highest paid tight end in the NFL now. And you know what? He won't be the highest paid tight end in the NFL for very long. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. But Austin Hooper won't be the highest paid tight end because there's a certain guy in San Francisco that's going to be getting an extension here pretty soon. And he's going to blow the doors off of that. I expect I expect Kittle to probably push that $15 million mark a year. They dropped a second round tender on Kareem Hunt, Andy Janovich from the Broncos for a 7th round pick. Actually, that's a hell of a deal for the Cowboys or the Browns. Sorry. Janovich is a heck of a fullback, man. He'll actually help out quite a bit as well. You really don't think about fullbacks. I think the Niners got a really good fullback as well. So yeah, there's a few out there that are worth trading for or signing, and I think he's one of them. Kevin Johnson, 1 year, $3.5 million. Carl Joseph, a 1 year deal. There's no numbers for it yet though, but that might be okay. But we'll see. I don't know what the contract is yet. They grabbed Case Keenum for a 3-year. Whew, my lord, $6 million for a backup QB. That's a lot of money for a backup quarterback. I don't know if I can handle that. I don't remember. I don't remember Baker having that much of injury problems and concerns, unless they're afraid their offensive line's not going to be able to protect him and he's going to get hurt a lot again. I hope not. But we'll see. We'll see. They signed a safety, Andrew Sendajo. 1 year, two. I don't know the guy, but he got $2.25 million for a year contract. Moving on, Dallas. Anthony Brown, cornerback, 3 years, $15.5 million. That's a good deal. I like that. I don't like the HaHa Clinton Dix deal. It's 1 year, $2.5 million guaranteed, $4 million total. I don't like it. I think HaHa Clinton Dix is on the downslide as well. I don't think he's nearly as good as what he was 2, 3, 4 years ago. Amari Cooper, smart move. I'm sure I've already talked about this in previous, but getting Amari Cooper locked up over the next 5 years was an absolute must. Okay? Absolute must. $60 million guaranteed. Holy crap. 40 of it right at the signing. But 5 year, $100 million, $20 million a year. He is paid as one of the best receivers in the NFL, and he should be, because what he did for the Cowboys. So, yeah, I think this is a good move all the way around. I'm just worried about what they're going to do with Dak. I understand that they franchise tagged him, but my goodness, where are they going to come up with the money to actually give Dak the contract that he needs? Yes, I agree. Because they're not going to have much money, right? I mean, they're not going to have the money to re-sign all these great players. They need to get to the Super Bowl and produce a trophy or two quickly in order to make all this work. Because, I mean, goodness gracious. Re-signing Sean Lee to 1 year, $4.5 million, that's big. He's still a very good linebacker. I like that. Forbase, the kicker, re-signed. I don't have the terms yet. Blake Jarwin, the tight end, re-signed for a 3-year deal. $24 million. Whew. That's a fat check. Now, I don't know much about Blake. How good was he? Because I don't really know. Yeah. I don't know much about Blake Jarwin. I know that they had the old guy come back last year to help out. But I don't know if Blake actually was... Did Blake earn that kind of a contract? I mean, that's $8 million a year. That's high-end tight end money. I mean, the Colts have had 2 Pro Bowlers on their team, and they only paid them $6.5 million a year each, and they were Pro Bowlers. So $8 million on 3 years, $8 million a year for 3 years for a tight end. Whew, that's fat cash. Joe Looney got a re-sign for 1 year, about 2.5. I don't understand. 2.437564218 pi. Gerald McCoy, that's a 3-year, $18 million, can reach around 20 with incentives. That's a big signing. That's a monster signing for the Cowboys. I like that signing. That's another one of those win now moves that you were talking about. And then Darian Thompson, the safety, has resigned. They haven't actually announced what it was. A lot of these signings, there is definitely hometown stuff going on here. Sean Lee got hometown. I think I can't believe got paid $4 million, but Anthony Brown. Dallas is just going to have a problem with money later. I mean, they got a problem with money now, but we'll see what happens. Maybe they could trade off one offensive lineman if they got a good backup. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but as long as they keep one side really solid, like they could trade off a guard, right? Get some room in their budget by trading one guard off, because you don't want to get rid of tackles, you don't want to get rid of your center by far. And you're one of the guards definitely ain't going because he's all pro every stinking year. But the other guard might be in the mix for a trade, free up a little money. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Denver. A.J. Boye traded by the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 4th round pick. Holy crap. Jacksonville just traded away their entire team. The whole team. I think they could probably get a bag of Skittles and maybe a couple snow cones if they give the rest of their team away. Because they traded away all their good guys. Minus Yannick Ngakoue, who they, franchise tagged. They went off and they got another AFC South guy, Jarrell Casey, for a 7th round pick. Holy crap, what kind of crate. I've already talked about it, and that was very dumb. I think this was a move to free up cap space for the Titans, but at the same time, you could have got a lot more than a 7th round pick out of Jarrell Casey. Come on. They did sign Graham Glasgow to a 4-year, $44 million. That was very, very smart. Melvin Gordon, a 2-year, $16 million deal. That's chunky. With a lot guaranteed, that's chunky. It's also only 2 years, so we'll see how that works. This was not a long-term deal. A lot of people don't like this because, that's really going to hurt Philip Lindsay's numbers. But I think you're going to see a massive 1-2 punch. You're going to see Gordon and Lindsay in and out. You might see a lot of I formation or 2 running back formations, maybe T, something like that. So you may see both of them on the field at the same time often because offensive coordinators want to have their best players on the field at all times, no matter how it works. Oh, yeah, Zach Martin. Yeah. I had an issue remembering his name. Sometimes that happens. Everybody has brain farts occasionally when it comes to remembering there's hundreds and hundreds of names out there, so it's difficult. And then they got Justin Simmons on a franchise tag, which was smart. Smart, because right now we all seen what happened last year when you have a top-end safety hit the free agent market. Someone is going to pay big money for him. And there's no way that we're going to be able to keep him. So dropping the franchise tag on him is good for now. Then maybe they might be able to get a hometown discount extension with him through next year and not have to pay as much money to keep him for a long time. Detroit Patriots. Oh, I'm sorry. The Detroit Lions signed Jamie Collins, 3-year, $30 million with $18 million guaranteed. I expected something similar to this. Collins is a good linebacker. They got agreed with Chase Daniel at quarterback. Duron Harmon, again, another New England guy for a 7th round pick. Oh, they got him and a 7th round pick for a 5th round pick from New England. Or for their, yeah. So I think that was a good deal. At least the Patriots were able to keep their number 1 corner. Jaron Kearse got a 1-year, $2.75 million. Killebrew, sorry. There's terms, but no contract. Danny Shelton, 2-year, $8 million. That's cheap. I think Shelton could get paid more than that. I think he just was in a situation where Shelton could fully show his abilities on the team that he was on. T. Kurox, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you being here. So I think Danny Shelton, 2-year, $8 million is going. I think he's going to show a lot. I think he's going to do a really good job. Desmond Trufant agreed with the Lions, 2-year, $21 million. That was a heck of a deal for the Lions as well. I like Trufant. Vaitai, I always have trouble pronouncing his first name, but Vaitai, a 5-year, $50 million. The tackle. Looks like they're trying to get a little bit of offensive line help there for their quarterback, which he's needed. I mean, he's had his injury concerns last couple years. He was always healthy beforehand, but like other big quarterbacks out there, named Luck, Cam Newton, if you don't get them protection, you don't put a line in front of them, man, they're going that injury concerns, it keeps building, and it makes it easier and easier and easier for them to get long-term injuries. So getting an offensive tackle to help protect him is a very, very smart move. They also grabbed Nick Williams, defensive tackle. They have nothing on it, but apparently they have him. Moving on to the Green Bay Packers. Not much there, man. They got Christian Kirksey, 2-year, $16 million. I think that's a little on the high side. Mercedes Lewis has a 1-year, $2.5 million. Mercedes Lewis is OAF. That's all I can say about that. Hey, Perry, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate you being here. Had Josh on here earlier. Had to shout out USN early on. But thanks. And then they grabbed Rick Wagner. But there's no deal, so I can't really give my opinion on the deal with the Packers and Rick Wagner, because I don't know what the contract numbers are. Houston Texans. Them and the Jaguars are the big Fs in this free agency. Houston's a big F over one stinking trade, and everybody knows about it, so I'm not even going to talk about that one. But they did go grab Randall Cobb, 3-year, $27 million, to kind of try to fill that void from DeAndre Hopkins. He's not going to be able to fill that void from DeAndre Hopkins. Cobb is not the same guy he was back with Green Bay, 4 years ago. They re-signed Fairbairn for a 4-year, $17 million for a kicker. That's chunky money. It's about $4.5 million a year for a kicker. $9 million guaranteed. Not bad, but he did well. They went and got Darren Fells. Well, but they re-signed him. 2 years, $7 million. I think Fells played very, very well, earned this contract last season. Very smart move. I think Fells plays more as though, his play is worth more than $3.5 million a year. Easily. Let's move on. Let's see who else we got here. Obviously, the David Johnson trade with Hopkins we already talked about. A.J. McCarron, 1 year, $4 million bucks. That's just a little cheap, quick, hey, make sure that we still have our backup for Watson. Or is it a backup for Watson? Will A.J. McCarron be the starter for the Houston Texans next season? There's been a little bit of intrigue on whether or not Watson will end up being traded. Could be. I mean, I'd be really upset, man, if my team let go of my best favorite weapon in the world, my go-to, oh crap, I'm in trouble, just throw the ball somewhere in his direction and he's going to save the day guy. They re-signed Bradley Roby. Smart move. I don't like $12 million a year, though. I think that's a little on the high side. Roby's a good corner. And he does have the ability to lock down certain receivers. Roby is not good against small, fast guys. Roby can handle your big possession receivers like nobody's business. But when it comes to dealing with guys like Hill or Hilton or guys of that nature, he's not very good at it. So I don't like. They're going to have to put him man-to-man coverage rather than zone. Jalen Watkins, the defensive back, he signed 2-year, $3 million deal. He's obviously going to be a backup. Now we got my team, the Colts. I got a huge thing about DeForest Buckner already. All right. Massive. I went down, broke down his tape. I absolutely love this trade by the Colts. And then giving him that extension, paying him massively amounts of money for someone who's going to be in their prime almost their entire lives with the Colts. That you cannot put. I'm telling you what, Anthony Costanzo, AC extension, when he finally decided he wanted to come back and play again with the Indianapolis Colts instead of retiring and then getting a 2-year extension. He's getting paid all that money up front. All his guarantees are up front. So if he wants to retire next year or leave or whatnot, it's not going to hurt the Colts at all. Smart move. This also helps the Colts out a lot because now they don't have to necessarily go out and get a tackle. That freed up the fact of them going out and getting DeForest Buckner by trading away their first-round pick, not having to worry about having that first-round pick to get a tackle. LaRaven Clark's re-signing. I hated that move. They let Joe Haeg go to sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I'll get into that later. I would have rather them kept Haeg over LaRaven Clark. LaRaven Clark just seemed to get beat a lot off the edge in preseason, in training camp, and practices. I don't like that at all. Also have a big Phillip Rivers thing. Really hadn't talked. I talked about the Phillip Rivers signing earlier when Ray asked me from DPN. I'll just say I like it as long as they can get someone to come in and learn under him. Tell me you're not trying to teach Jacoby Brissett with Phillip Rivers, because Jacoby Brissett has already had 2 teachers in Andrew Luck and then Tom Brady before him. So we need to get someone young, whether it be in the draft or in a trade for a young quarterback. Maybe the Miami Dolphins, Josh Rosen. Anyhow, Jacksonville, Darqueze Dennard. 3-year, $13 million. They needed a cornerback, so they went out and got one. Being they haven't had any cornerback. I mean, they have no cornerbacks that started for their team 3 years ago. Back when their defense was that nasty. So they needed one. They tagged Ngakoue. Rodney Gunter got terms with the Jaguars, but there's no announcement on the contract, so I can't really say much. Joe Schobert, the linebacker, 5-year, $53 million. Actually, not a bad deal. I think Schobert will help a lot. Tyler Shatley, re-signing, 1 year, $1.5 million. That's probably just kind of a decent backup. Kansas City Chiefs, not much going on. They tagged Jones, smart move. They picked up the contract option on Damian Williams, so he's getting another $2.3 million. Chad Henne got re-signed. Terms not disclosed yet, but they needed to because we already seen what can happen. The guys, when you have scrambling quarterbacks, they get hurt sometimes. And Mahomes got hurt for a little while last year, so Chad Henne, it's smart to have someone there. Antonio Hamilton, 1 year deal, still nothing there, so I don't know. I really can't say much about it. Moving on to the Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. It's going to take time for me to get used to saying that. Period. It's going to take time for me to get used to saying Las Vegas Raiders. But they got Eli Apple. That's a good move. Jeff Heath. 2 years, $8 million. It's $4 million a year. I personally don't like that signing. I don't think Heath is worth as much as $4 million a year, but they're kind of in year 2 of their rebuild, so Kwiatkowski, Nick, linebacker, agreed to terms, 3 year, $21 million. Over half of that is guaranteed. Not bad. Corey Littleton, 3 year, up to $36 million. Now, when you say up to, we're not seeing the base. When it says up to 36, that means there's incentives there that he could make up to $36 million. Littleton's a heck of a linebacker. So $12 million a year is worthy of Corey Littleton. I don't like Marcus Mariota going to the Raiders because he's basically going to be an expensive backup because Carr is better than Mariota 2 times over. Easily. So I don't understand why that happened. If you understand and you know what's up, then let me know, but I have no idea. Carl Nassib, defensive end, he played tough. He's got a $17 million fully guaranteed 3-year contract, $25 million total. Holy crap, that's a lot. And after incentives, he could make a max value of $28 million. What in the world is Jason Witten still doing in the NFL? So, Jason Witten went to the Raiders because, they lost their other tight end, apparently, which we already talked about. Witten will be a good, solid, reliable tight end for Carr. He's always that. You don't expect him to blow out, but he'll be a good safety blanket for Carr. So I agree to that. I'll get that. Chargers. Balaga. Offensive tackle, 3 year, $30 million. See, I don't know that tackle. I don't know Brian, so I can't really give a good option on that. Austin Eckler, 4 year, $24 million, 15 guaranteed. The way he played last year, he deserves every dime of it. That's $6.5 million a year. I'm surprised it was only $6.5 million a year because he played his butt off. You should have seen, if you didn't watch that first game of the year against the Colts, that kid came out of nowhere and did everything. He ran the ball, and Phillip Rivers threw him the ball over and over and over and over and over. He played very, very well. I think that I'm honestly surprised he ain't getting a $7-8 million a year. But a 4 year, That's probably why it got dropped to $6 million a year and 15 straight up guaranteed. That's a chunk. That is a chunk. I'm happy for him. Look at this Chris Harris signing for the Chargers. 2 years, $17 million. Oh my, that's $8.5 million for a slot corner. Maybe the best in the league. But there's a max value of $20 million and $7.5 million guaranteed. Chris Harris is a heck of a slot corner. So, and the Chargers needed him. So I agree with that. They tagged Hunter Henry. Oh my God. I get it though. Hunter Henry would have raised a lot of tie. He's another one of those guys that I think. I mean, he's not Kittle, obviously, but he's a guy that can do both with the ball. He can run block, plus he can go out there and make catches. Hunter Henry, that was a very, very good deal. Very good deal. To tag him. Linval Joseph, the tackle, 2 years, $17 million, up to 19 with incentives. And Trey Turner, the guard. We already talked about that. He was in exchange for Russell Okung. So that's going to be my first half. I'll go over the second half, starting with Los Angeles Rams tomorrow, maybe. But make sure you check out, because I don't know. I know sometime Sunday I definitely got a draft that I'm going to be going over. Saturday possibly have a live draft. I haven't really talked to the rest of my guys to see if that actually happens. But I want to thank everybody for joining. Don't forget, hit the like, give me a follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you're on YouTube, check out the donation link. Until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen, and I want you to have a good one.